The Thinkpad 380 was introduced in mid-1997 and has some very attractive features for a mid-range notebook of its time, including a diskette and CD-ROM drive as well as a hard drive. It included a Pentium 150 MHz processor with or without the MMX technology, depending on what your needs may be, and according to this advertisement, it was offered at some point for around $1,800. Now that's of course for the original Thinkpad 380. The original lineup of the laptops consisted of two models, the Thinkpad 380 and the 380D. I have one of each of those models here. This is my original 380. It was unfortunately destroyed in postage when I purchased it, but I have held on to it as a keepsake. A very sad keepsake, I must say. And on your right over here I have the 380D, the only real difference between the two being the CD-ROM drive. These laptops, of course, at the time were budget friendly, not by our standards today, but as far as portable computing was concerned, $1,800 was pretty cheap for a laptop that packed the type of specifications that this one did, including the CD-ROM drive, one of the first laptops to include a CD-ROM drive. So it has VGA video out, a parallel printer port, a serial port, and a PS2 port for connecting a mouse or a keyboard, though I don't think you would want to connect a keyboard to this laptop considering it has one of the best laptop keyboards of all time. All models also included an IR receiver as well as two PCMCIA ports. On your left here you'll see the 380E, which was a slightly later model, slightly more basic, slightly more budget friendly. It saw the omission of the CD-ROM drive. But all later models after the initial two offerings did include MMX technology with the Pentium processor. This 380E included one of the passive matrix display options. If I move my cursor around, you will see a ghostly image of a mouse cursor somewhere on the screen floating around in space. And you'll also see the big ugly red mark in the center of the screen where someone jammed their big thumb into it or jammed something into it and permanently left that mark there, unfortunately. The 380E did include some more options that you could add, but those options were not included standard with it, so this laptop could be optioned down pretty cheaply. The 380 was the first in the line of Thinkpad 300 series notebooks to feature a built-in speaker right at the front here. You can see the speaker grill blasting right out of the front of it. I'll give that a little test at this time. speakers in these laptops were relatively well known for not being very good. They do get rather jumbled at high volumes, but it has a built-in speaker, which was pretty nice at the time for a notebook computer, especially one that costs less than $5,000. If we open up the properties of my C drive here, we'll see that it is a 2 GB drive, about half of it used, half of it free. It is the original drive to the laptop, and mine does fortunately have the MMX technology, as well as the maximum amount of 80 megabytes of system memory. I'm running Windows 98 with the Plus entertainment package installed on this system. It can be used with Windows XP, though you'll have to use a Windows 98 boot drive or Windows NT boot drive of some sort, because these cannot boot from CDs. You'll be able to tell instantly that this model does have the nicer TFT display, no ghosting when I move my cursor around, and we can open up a font file and just see there that it's very nice. That's not a very nice font file in particular, but we can open up a better one and we can see there, very nice, sharp graphics, no lag. Upon opening that file, we can just open up another one really quickly here. A computer font, a classic used on the television series The Computer Chronicles for many years. And we can open up this image file, taken with my Sony Mavica digital camera. You can see there, it loads it up nicely. This computer is rather snappy with Windows 98 installed on it, the original hard drive. This would have been a rather nice option at the time, 1997, 1998. These laptops were known for having at least acceptable battery life, averaging around 2.5 hours. Mine currently has the original battery installed, which will last some time. So perhaps battery longevity is a new benchmark for vintage computers. This one right here will certainly get an A+ in that category. Just an example of some software you would have wanted to use with this notebook. Adobe PageMaker 6.5 will open rather quickly here using the original hard drive. You can see there, initializing defaults, initializing file manager, and there it is. All models within the Thinkpad 380 series included Windows 95 Standard, the original installation of which is still on my 380E here. But you could install a multitude of operating systems on these, anything from Windows 3.11 to 95, 98, ME, several versions of NT Workstation, several distributions of Linux, IBM's OS/2 Warp, and even up to Windows XP with an upgrade to your RAM and your hard drive capacity. In fact, with the original 380, a Windows 3.11 downgrade was kind of recommended with the base 16 megabytes of RAM as well as the 1 gigabyte hard drive. I know many of you will be interested to see a closer look at my 380E, so let's take a look. It has this original 2 gigabyte hard drive, of course. A little bit more of it is used than on my 380D. This is the original installation, mind you. It is registered to the IBM customer from Total System Services Incorporated, featuring the Pentium processor without MMX technology and 44 megabytes of RAM. We can get some support information, and we will be greeted by this screen. Technical support for Windows 95, Windows NT pre-installed on your IBM ThinkPad can be obtained from the following IBM Help Centers. Well, I have found the USA technical support number. I think a telephone call might be in order.
The number you have dialed is no longer in service. Please visit IBM.com for further assistance. Thank you.
Well, that was a disappointment. IBM. Time to go to Toshiba products, I'm afraid. In our next video presentation, I will be presenting the Toshiba Satellite 1675. Thank you for watching, and stay safe out there.